Okay, thank you all for tuning in to the Alexander's Approach. Welcome back. Today we
everybody.
have two guests. Our first guest.
First guest on the show.
Yes. Our family. We have Sin, Gary, as well as Kiasha. We call her Key. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for tuning in again. We want to say thank you for watching the last episode, for all of those that commented, that added that dialogue. We appreciate that, and make sure you keep it coming.
All right, so let's start out by just doing some quick introductions,
Absolutely.
right? So tell who you are, your background, real quick before we get into these nitty-gritty topics.
No doubt.
We got some good topics. We got some good topics today.
Yeah.
Oh, well, first and foremost, before I introduce myself, just want to say congratulations to you guys with the Alexander Approach.
Thank you.
Right now, y'all
you.
killing it. I feel like we are y'all #1 fans. We don't watch y'all laying in the
Yeah, I
bed.
know
We
we
don't
love
have our
y'all.
own personal debates.
Yes. That's what we want to. Keep us going.
For sure, keep it going. Y'all got something. But they already gave me a small formal introduction. My name is Sin. Everybody call me Sin, but my real name is Gary. Originally from Rochester, New York. Chicago is my second home. I've been out here 16 years now.
Wow.
Originally came out here to run and manage a clothing store and pursue my music career. What that transpired and turned into is now me being the co-founder of TVMG, which is Tunnel Vision Music Group, a record label based out of Chicago, a management company, and also on the corporate side, I'm a senior exec with Grubhub Corporate. So, no doubt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Okay.
That was nice.
You got I was prepared for that. This ain't your first rodeo.
Right. Oh my. Okay. So, my name is Kiasha. Everybody knows me as Key. I am the owner of Key to Glam Inc. It's a hair salon in downtown Chicago. We specialize in luxury hair extensions. Not from Chicago, from the suburbs of Chicago. Let me say that, because Chicago people be
Which
acting
suburb you from?
Right.
real crazy.
At least you don't false flag.
No, I do never try to rap like I'm from
suburban.
Chicago.
Y'all love it.
She's definitely not. She don't even act like she's from Chicago. She's the furthest
I was
from.
born in Joliet, Illinois, but I grew up in
With the
Aurora.
Cuddies, with the Cuddies.
And Aurora,
Cuddies.
so yeah.
Y'all know I'm from New York, so when I first came out, I used to be like Juliet. She like, no, it's Joliet.
A lot of
It's
people still
Joliet.
say it like that, but Joliet, yes.
Yeah.
So yes.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you all for coming on. We welcome you. We appreciate you all joining us today. So we're gonna jump right into the topics. So, Key and Sin, they just got engaged. So, congrats on that.
Yes.
What is it? Is it 1 month in now?
It's,
Yeah,
a little over 1 month.
A little bit over a
Yeah.
month. They had a
It's a big
beautiful
deal.
engagement. Kiasha was very surprised. We were at her father's house. She came in. It was very beautiful. So check out their Instagram.
See, laid it out real nice.
Yeah,
And
it
the
was really
decorations
nice.
stuff was on point.
It was
He had a
good.
whole romantic vibe going.
The whole
He
day,
did his thing.
the whole day we texted Sin
Right.
and talking to Sin. He's so nervous. He got a lot going on. I'm like,
I
y'all,
swear.
stop texting him. Stop calling him. He got a lot going on. Leave him be. But yeah, it was very beautiful. So they just got engaged. So we're gonna talk about a few things today regarding like the engagement, your relationship.
The
Y'all good with
journey.
that?
No
Yeah.
doubt.
The
No
journey.
doubt.
The
Yes.
It's been a journey.
Long overdue.
It's been a journey. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that.
No doubt.
But before we do, like my first question for you all is number one, Sin, I'll start with you. So
Okay.
you all were dating for how long?
It's going on 7 years.
Tell us about, y'all first met, how y'all first met.
Oh, okay.
Then we'll get to the juicy stuff a little.
Okay.
How we first met?
Yeah.
We'll ease into it.
Yeah. ease into it.
Y'all know how when she was on me, she seen me,
Please, let's tell it the right way.
She was on me,
Not at all.
My guy P. Scott, one of my good friends, he's originally from New York as well. He owns an art gallery here in Chicago. Before he was actually at his new spot, at his old art gallery, he used to host events there. He used to do comedy shows, art shows. And shout out to my girl Kalia, because Kalia was actually his intern working out of the gallery. And Kalia came through with a friend to one of these joints. Now, I'm always at free joint. I'm solo. Now, I'm peeping the scene. I'm the guy from New York in there, And Kalia came through, and I'm like, "Ooh, hold on. Kalia, what's up with your friend?
Who was that?
And the funny part about that is I had just did Kalia hair. So we was just talking. I was like, what you doing today? It was like I remember it was Tuesday.
Yep.
And she was like, oh, I'm just going to this art gallery.
Random
You should come to this event with me. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, I know
So,
Chicago used to
like,
go up on
It
Tuesday.
It used to be
Yeah.
cracking
It
on
did.
Tuesdays.
You
so-
said, she also said art gallery. It's like,
Yeah.
that sounds like
That's so different.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
okay. She was like, black art, it's gonna be this nice event. So I was like, yeah. So I went, and that's He was checking for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I honestly, I seen her. I asked Kalia about her, and then you know.
Blushing, bro?
Huh? I am kind of a little bit, but after that, I kind of asked Free did he know her? He was like, nah, she a free agent. She knew. I don't know who shorty is.
Is that what guys do usually? Ask the other guy, like,
You know, you
we
gonna
want to know kind of what you know.
Yeah, she got a man that said, I don't want to be disrespectful. You know, I'm a gentleman. You know, asked Kalia, and then I asked him what they were doing after that, because Free partner Kendall actually was a promoter at Nostalgia, which was a Tuesday spot at Bevy that you know was real
Wait,
famous as well.
A quick side note here. Seeing stay in the clubs back in
Oh,
the day.
my God.
Bro, I'm talking about
Tuesday,
Tuesday, Thursday,
Thursday,
Friday, Saturday. That boy was in the club
Yes,
and getting
he
them
was.
sections.
Yeah.
So that's why I would say, don't say that you can't meet your man in the club. Just want to throw that in there. 'Cause it is love
your
in the club.
soulmate may be in the club. You never know. You
I
never
think
know.
so.
No doubt. So we've been rocking ever since then.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I remember this story of like Kalia. Like I remember Gary had on all white that day, and we were in the section.
I never wear white pants.
We
either,
was in
but
the
don't
section,
take
and
white
Gary was
pants.
like standing in front of the section, and me, I'm trying to look around, like trying to see who in here. And we used to make a joke about like, look at you looking for everybody. Whole time your man was standing right there in that all white,
Looking like
looking
Jesus.
godly,
Looking like Jesus.
looking godly, and you looking around your man right there.
There we go.
That's
Look, you trying to
hilarious.
see who in the club I'm right in front of you.
That's what's up.
But anyways, he did at the end of the night. He asked me, he's like, I would love to take you to dinner. He was a complete gentleman. I will say that because you know I done had my share of light skinned men, and I was done.
I'm done.
I was done.
Wait, so you had a type?
I have been told I have a type, but I don't think I
I've
have
been
a type.
told I have a
think
type.
that-
Last three.
Yes, but I think that a lot of light skinned men approach me. It's not like I
Light-skinned
go
women.
out, so I feel like.
You say let's hear what?
So I feel like I was done. I had a bad run. I'm like, I want me a chocolate man, this and that.
That's
But
so funny.
Gary, I will say he was a complete gentleman. So
Okay.
he got points with me. I was like, yeah, I'll go to dinner. And I feel like
see you, bro.
after we went to dinner, we had like such good conversation. Everything flowed.
Yeah.
And I remember calling Kalia and I'm like, yeah, this my man. He about to be my
Oh.
man. And we've been together literally ever
There,
since.
there it go.
There you go.
Just last episode, I was saying how women love saying my man, and I was like, Tika, some of your friends like always love saying.
She do love saying
You was
my
one of the
man.
people I was talking
Yeah.
about.
Oh my God, my man, my
You
man.
was one of them.
Yes.
I mean, it's my man.
That's what I was
What you
thinking about.
expect?
I was like, it
It's
come
my
to a
man.
level of empowerment.
Yeah.
Y'all was saying, I was like, my man.
My
I
man,
ain't so
my
sure. Yeah.
man.
My baby said she was gonna my man me to death till she got the opportunity to say
Now my
fiance.
fiance,
Now you right.
and I sure be saying
But
that.
she wasn't lying.
But I'm gonna be honest, from
She
the
kept
first
her word on that.
from the first date we went on, I knew she was somebody who was going to elevate me,
Beautiful.
somebody who was going to
Okay.
keep me motivated, and somebody who was going to be like, you know what, this ain't for me. So quick little, segment real quick. So our first date, right? I was like, let's go and get a bite to eat. So, I'm just new in the city. I don't know too many spots. I mentioned like, how about we go to Grand Lux? She said, Grand Lux? Do I look like a
my
Grand
God.
Lux type of woman? What
I
about
love
Roof
Grand
Chris?
Lux.
I said,
I love Grand Lux, by the way.
So I had to hit my boy P. Scott. Said I offered Grand Lux. She said Roof Chris. He was like, oh, bro, that's a different. She a different
I
type
am
of woman.
cracking
I'm just
up.
gonna let you know that's a different price bracket going on. You went from that $100 to the $400 meal.
Man,
first
rest in
night.
peace to Ruth Griffin.
I
Wait,
love
did you say
I
Grand
love
Lux?
I missed
Chris.
that.
She said, do you think I'm a Grand Lux type of woman?
I
She
did
said
not
something
say
else.
that. I did
Grand
not
Lux
say
type
that.
of.
I said
Nah,
stop it.
I did not say that. I was
She
like,
definitely-
I suggested another place, but
Okay.
I didn't want to go to Grand Lux. I wanted to go to Roof Chris. So.
But it's crazy because he
What's
probably
wrong
thought
with
like Grand Lux
Grand
is
Lux
like.
is
He
decent.
probably
What's
thought
wrong
it's
with
like
it? They got good food.
No, I
there,
like
man.
Grand
That's
Lux,
all
but
I
I
was
just,
on.
I'm
First
like,
date.
I'm like
See,
a little
you said different,
fancy. I was
yeah.
used to something different. I go to maybe Grand Lux with me and the girls just a drink or whatever, but
Okay.
Not
I wanted
for
a
me.
nice fancy date. Take me
You
out.
gotta meet
wanna
her what
live?
she is. You have to meet her what she is.
Exactly.
Ah, okay.
We
That's
talked
all.
about that too. Like when women's standards are high, you have to meet them where they are. Like
doubt.
But you did
That's
it, so
true. That's true.
it worked out.
And
So
if he
that's
would have
good.
said, I don't know how I would have reacted if he would have said Grand Lux, but like I said, I liked him. I wanted to get to know him, so I would have went to Grand Lux.
Okay.
But I just suggested Roof Chris.
Ah.
Hey, so start high if you're trying to get there. Okay, that's what we're gonna leave it at. Just start high just in case. If you
Yeah.
really like her. So
Yeah.
great story. Okay, so let's get into it. So Kiasha and Sia, I want to know like when you all like started dating, like what made you decide that you wanted to get married? So like Sia, my specific question to you is like, at what point did you know this is the woman that I want to marry and I'm ready to marry her?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little bit older than Kiasha, so I've been through my fair share of relationships. I knew exactly kind of like what I was looking for. But I feel the thing that kind of like made me notice the person I could spend the rest of my life with is that we grew to be best friends. We grew to be literally best friends. We say that all of the time. So I could be my natural, genuine self around this person. Authentic self. And it was just super dope. I feel like when you first get with somebody and, you know, you want to be the best person that you kind of perceive that they'll accept or they want. You know what I mean?
That's
why
that
I had no problem.
That's that rep in the first few months.
Absolutely.
Right?
That's why I had no problem accepting the rule, Chris. You know what I mean? I might not have, you know, but at the end of the day, I feel like when you become best friends with the person, you know, you in a relationship with, that's when you kind of know you can spend the rest of your life with this person, because you could be vulnerable. You know, you can also like grow with this person. You can share everything with this individual instead of just a persona. So that's what let me know this a person. Once I feel like, yo, this is my best friend. I could be funny in front of her. I could be myself, my authentic self. It was just super dope and super genuine.
Do you remember how long it was before you had that feeling, before you knew like she was the one?
I ain't even gonna lie. Well, I told this girl I loved her about after the third, fourth date. You know what I mean? A little something. But it was about
that effect. That's the key effect.
That is that effect. True.
But again, you know, in relationships, everything has its ups and downs. You know,
Absolutely.
you have those hills and those hurdles you have to overcome.
Yeah.
So you know, you may have that feeling, but at the end of the day, really going through certain things, and we did have our share of things that we went through, and she just showed me that she was a ride or die, and through thick and thin, she's gonna be there through ups and downs, through ins and outs, and I really appreciated that, because I've been in other situations, and you know, you compare situations a little bit in relationships. So I've been in situations where, you know, up and up, everything was great. You know, you start declining, some things happen, and you know, that same person who you thought you could spend the rest of your life with, or maybe have thought that they're nowhere to be found on the level of your expectancies. So, you know, with her, she was always there, you know, no matter what. So I really knew like she was my ride or die, and no matter what.
Snap on that.
She was the one.
I don't know, bro. Lately, your Facebook statuses and you've been talking.
For real.
It's all been sounding like vows. I don't know, bro. Been like starting to, you know, get some notes together for the vows, but bro, man, like you in your bag lately, dog. I gotta give you. You've been going crazy, bro.
You know what I think it is? I think like you can be in a relationship for years, right? But I do think like when we got engaged, something shifted and something changed, right? Yeah. We have been in a relationship for a long time, and I think like when we got engaged, it was a long time. It was a long time.
It wasn't 7. It wasn't 7.
Nah,
it was young though.
We were young. We were in college, but still, we had been around each other for a long time. So it's like when we finally got engaged, and then once we got married, it's like something shifted, and I can't explain what it is. It was just like the love changed. It's like you always love that person, but then it was like, damn. Like I really love this person.
It's like I'm really about to be with this person.
So that's what's going on with my bro right now. He just he like, you know, this has to be my wife. Like so he's feeling it. So every status,
that's a big deal.
That birthday status, that was good. Yeah, make sure y'all check out that. You know, but that birthday status is real good. So that's just what it is. So, but that's good. So Kiasha, like, at what point did you know like this is the man that I want to marry and spend the rest of my life with?
So I mean, I'm going to start off by saying, I won't say like married in the beginning, but I knew that this was somebody that I wanted to start a relationship with. And it was honestly our first date, really. I'm very big on conversation. If I could have a conversation with you, because I feel like guys will try to holler at you, but it's real surface level, right? When I can get deep with you and have a conversation. And I felt like at that dinner, it wasn't just like, okay, what you do? Like, it wasn't anything like that. We were going deep. This man was telling me about how he grew up. He was telling me like stuff about his family, you know, his goals and stuff like that. And I really admired that, because I'm like, anybody who knows me, they know I'm a workaholic. I enjoy working. I'm a go-getter. And I felt like we vibed in that sense of like our work ethic. And I'm like, okay, you know, he out here grinding. He didn't come from come from a lot, but he done made something of himself.
Yeah.
And I admired that. Like, I feel like anybody that can go from nothing and make something of itself without the help of family and you whatever. It was something that I admired about that. And I felt like we had that in common, that work ethic. And I was like, okay, I'm feeling him. And so that's why I said, I called Khalil like, girl, this is supposed to be my man. Not only that, I remember like when I first met him, he asked me to go to Toronto with him. This was All-Star Weekend or whatever. And he was like, you want to come to Toronto?
I remember that.
And like normally I probably would have been like, yeah, but he seemed like a really nice guy. I had to work, so I didn't go. But even then, I felt comfortable. Like, I was like, I'm about to go out of town with this man or whatever. But it was something about him, like even after the date and everything like that, I felt very comfortable with him. And I feel like that's important when you can sit there, you can have a conversation. Like you said, you can be yourself. It was just natural with us. And so as far as like wanting him to be my husband, it was just certain stuff that I would see with Gary. And I heard y'all a couple episodes, y'all talked about y'all soft air or things like that. And so I felt like with Gary, I was able to be softer. Like I'm so used to being a boss in every aspect of my life, but it was like when I was with him, I felt comfortable. I felt like a woman. I could kind of like relax. He would take care of things, and I feel like those are like those aspects that I wanted in a husband. And so, and like I said, I didn't grow up with like seeing my parents married or anything like that, so I didn't really know. I didn't have an example to look at like this is what a husband looks like. So it was just how he made me feel, and I'm like, this is what I want. I feel like we can build together, and that's how I felt like he the one. Like we comfortable. I
mean, I ain't gonna lie. Like when Key and Sin first started dating, like I knew it was something. When I first met Sin,
the first time was it our wedding? The first time I really remember having a conversation.
No, I met him before.
I met him before that.
Okay.
I remember that.
Kiasha, she been my hairstylist since college. She was just doing my hair one day. And
that was a kitchen stylist.
That's when you were kitchen stylist, but she was still dope. But she was just doing my hair, and I was there for probably about an hour. She ain't said nothing. He walked out like, "What up, sis? All right, babe, I'll see you
Walk
later."
out the room. Like, hey, what's going on, sis? All right, babe, I'll see you.
And
look,
you sitting there getting your hair done, so I act regular. I'm like, okay, yeah, bye, bro.
So,
I never met him in my life. He leave out as soon as the door slammed. I turn around.
Like, who is this man?
This man been back here all this time. She's like, yeah, I think I love him. Like, I'm like, what? And I just feel like I knew it was something different. Like, he started bringing him around in all different settings. And it's like, of course, seeing, like, if you know Sin, like, when he come in settings, it's like love to everyone.
Like he know everybody.
Like he knows everybody. Hey, bro. Hey, sis, how you doing? You need something?
He'd be more comfortable than me. And
exactly. And that's been Sin from the beginning. But I knew it was something when she started bringing him around. And so, like, all the settings, like Sora setting, friends setting, everything.
And I give him credit because he did a good job coming to this circle, right?
And just
these all college friends, like, so all these people around, he's been knowing them for years.
You think Sin went to SIU? Shout out to the Salukis.
Like chameleon, I mean, fit right in.
Yeah, I feel like if I literally would have graduated high school from Chicago, I would have went to SIU.
Oh,
that's the way I feel.
Probably.
You'd fit in.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all embracing me too.
Even it's so funny. I just say that because I remember one time, my ship Tish, her mom had like a 50th birthday party, and I went to her mom party, and Gary came with me. And I'm like, Gary just coming in, fitting in. You would have thought that like I was the invited guest, and he helping them put away groceries and everything like that. And I'm like, baby, and he was like, he's so nice, ooh, and I'm just like, he always
know what to do.
He's a gentleman, right? He's been a gentleman, always been seen.
That boy raised well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's raised well.
Thank you.
Yeah. So y'all been dating for how many years?
7.
For 7 years, right? Mm-hmm. So you talked about what made you want to propose, and you talked about what you saw in him in terms of him being your husband. So, Sin, I gotta ask you.
Back to the
original question. Why did it take 6 to 7 years? Because you said the third date, like you knew, like you loved her. Mm-hmm. I know for everybody, it takes different time to really say, like, I'm gonna propose. But for you, why do you think it took you 6 years? Could it had happened earlier, or do you think that was the right amount of time?
No, I feel like it could have happened earlier. Honestly, myself personally, I've never seen myself being 38 and proposing to ask anyone to marry me. I always see myself being younger, getting married around 24, having 25 years old, already having kids by this age, running around. but things didn't turn out that way, you know. And even as a man, you start kind of like second guessing yourself. And with me, her nickname for me with anything is kind of like Perfect Patrick. That's what she called me.
Really? I never heard that.
I
I never heard
understand
that.
it. He got OCD.
Yeah,
I never
OCD.
heard
So
that.
I feel
Wow.
like even though I knew she was the one, and I felt that way initially, and I felt that way early, I wanted things to be perfect. And then it was things that started coming in and into our relationship, and things that started happening that kind of, you know, shifted the direction of the way things, and you know, you had to get things back on track, you know. So you look up and you realize, you know, time waits for no one. So you don't really realize we're still together, we're living together, you know, we're functioning, you know what I mean, as far as a relationship and a couple, 100% fine. You look up, another 2-3 years has went by.
That time
you
goes
know?
fast.
It
goes fast.
It be so fast.
Yes.
And then trying to do so many things, and again, me being a perfectionist. And the thing is, I wear my pride on my sleeve, where I had to realize, with this being my best friend, I had to put my pride aside and put it in my back pocket and be vulnerable. And then what it did with in our relationship is it actually helped our communication with one another. It's because a lot of things I didn't share with Kiasha. I've always been a provider, and in order to make things kind of happen, I had to open up to Kiasha a little bit more. And a lot of things she didn't know, even, you know, kind of where I was at that time and where I wanted to be, and it just helped our relationship, because it's like, hey, I'm still your ride or die. I'm your everything. You should be including me in a lot of things, so we can do things the right way in order to grow, you know. And once I opened that door, it helped me out tremendously, and then I was ready.
Do you think, I know sometimes as men, like, we want to change certain things, or we want to improve certain things in our life before we like propose and take that real big step. Do you think there's anything about you wanted to change or improve or shift before you propose?
Absolutely. I like taking care of everything. You know what I mean? I like taking care of everything. As far as rent, as far as bills, as far as stability, when it comes to things with growth. And also, as y'all know, we like living a good life too. So I still want to make sure that my baby works so much all the way around the corner. She you know, she spends, you know, 8 to 10 hours a day on her feet, so she needs a rest, you know, every 3-4 weeks. So that came with vacations, and them vacations started getting a little vacations got a little bit more exotic. We started to say, hey, we can't double back to this spot. We don't been here 2-3 times, you know, which is also our time to zen and things like that. But just to kind of like answer your question, I do feel as if, like, when it comes to a man, like, you have to realize, like, I feel like a woman is like I don't know if y'all follow what's homie name, man, on Instagram, but he talk about a woman being like God, and that's what he kind of like really believes. But I believe like a woman is strength if a man lets her be, and that was one thing that you guys ever touched on. Don't let it intimidate you.
I agree.
Embrace it. Is because I feel like she can help guide you. You know, like with me, I kept having a lot of setbacks is because I've always been, I grew up in a house full of women. I had to find and navigate through life myself, you know? A lot of things was LOX for me. I learned off of experience. You know, I always took 1 step forward, took 2 steps back, and then 3 steps forward, and found myself in the same spot. So once I kind of, you know, start opening that door for Key to just like help me navigate, I realized how great she was at doing that. You know what I mean? And it just helped me out a lot. So.
Awesome.
And I will even, just to piggyback on what he was saying, I am one of those people where I find myself being a pusher, right? So people around me, if you tell me you want to do something, I'm going to be that friend that's going to hold you accountable, that's going to push you. So you can't tell me you're going to do something and then we follow up later and you don't do that, because now I'm kind of on you, like, well, what's going on? And I think that, like he said, that was that level of communication that we got, because I'm wondering, like, what's going on? We've been together. I've been doing everything for you. This is where I'm at with it. And I think that when he did start to open up about, like, you know, just being a little bit more vulnerable, maybe about his finances and things, it's like, I make money too. You know what I mean? Like, if you need some help in something,
she's working. She's got the whole career in business.
Exactly. I love that you want to provide and you want to do that. But if we're going to be partners and we in this together, like, I can help out where you need help. If you need to work on some other stuff to get your credit together, or focus on
it was
this,
just like,
focus on
I
that.
never
I got you.
conversation.
And I never had that. You
You
know what I
over
mean?
here
So as a
stuck.
man, you don't
Not telling
even know how to
me.
approach it with conversation.
That's a
definitely
deeper
different-
conversation.
That's different.
Because
That's
it's
a whole
like,
different topic.
it's
but
okay
yeah.
to be vulnerable
Yes.
as a man. It's okay.
You
Like
gotta have
we are
everything
not
together.
our grandparents. Like we women, us women right now, we're working. We have careers just like our husbands and our men. We make money just like you are. So it's like
That's true.
you don't have to feel like I have to
You
do
gotta do
everything.
everything.
But that's
Like,
also
that's
that's learned.
I know.
Like
That's
we're
a
not,
process.
As boys, as men, as adults, like you're not taught to be vulnerable. Like you taught to like get it done, figure it out. And sometimes you be too vulnerable to the wrong woman, right? She can hold that against you.
Absolutely.
Right? You can be looked at as being viewed as being weak. So he found the right woman to be vulnerable with.
Absolutely.
But that ain't always the case.
So I think that's a
Absolutely.
good question right there. So it's
Yeah.
like for everyone out there that's listening. So like, at what point for men, like, do you feel like you can be vulnerable with a woman? Like,
Yeah.
when do you feel like you can express and be honest about, let's say, finances, about credit,
Yeah.
about like what your fears are as far as like being in a relationship,
Even like
just
mentally. How you
mentally,
doing?
yeah. Like, at what point do you all feel like that? And even for
Yeah.
women, like, what point do you feel comfortable enough with a man, or what are those stipulations for you to open up and just be who you are and be
Yeah.
able to be open to him? I think that's a really good
And
question.
be that helpmate.
Yeah.
Yes.
And honestly, the kind of, I don't know if you guys want to close it out on this. One thing that kind of helped us with that is even when we, of course, a lot of those things stem from, and it leads to an argument.
Yeah.
But anytime we have an argument about something, the great thing about our relationship is we come back maybe the next day and we have a conversation about it from a calm place. And we don't raise our voice about it. And one of the things that helped me look at things differently from a different perspective is Kiasha being honest with me and said, when I first met you, you were a doer and you're starting to become a sayer. I need that hustle to come back out you so you can turn back into a doer.
Accountability.
And it was super dope is because it goes
Yeah.
on into the word that I shared with y'all on New Year's, which was accountability and wanting to be held accountable.
Yes. Well, you got the right for
That's
yourself.
right.
dope,
And it
super
takes a
dope.
level of maturity to be open to that accountability.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and that's one thing I will honestly say about Gary. He is very good about, like, if you say something to him, it's
He's
not
receptive.
all. Yes, he's
He's
very
receptive.
receptive. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
like
for sure.
being combative about what I'm saying. It's like we can have that conversation. I can be honest with you, and you know that I'm coming from a good place. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
hurt you, but it's to help you grow. It's to help you elevate, and vice versa. If it's something that I'm doing and you tell me, if we can sit down and have a conversation from a calm place, from
Yep.
an honest
Yep.
place, we can really work through that.
Yeah.
And we want to be better for each other. So
Absolutely.
it's like, it's
Yes,
not like we
yes.
trying to do this to hurt each other. No, I want you to be better.
That's great.
And this is how you can be better for our relationship.
coming from a
So,
good place.
Wow.
No
yes,
doubt.
absolutely.
No doubt.
Awesome.
That's good stuff.
All right.
That's real good. Before we move on, I do want to ask you one more thing, Key. I know you wanted to see it proposed a little bit sooner, right? But it was something about your patience, right? What was it you saw in
That's a
seeing?
good-
You know
yes.
that like you was like, I'm gonna be patient and let him do this on his time because we know you was ready. You've been ready, right? What was it about him to say, you know what, this is something he has to figure out and do on his own time? Like how was you able to be patient during that time?
It was hard. I ain't gonna lie. It was very tough. Like, I was almost out the door. I'm not even gonna lie. Just because I feel like I hold myself to a certain level, right? And
Yeah.
everything I do in life, I feel like when I say I'm gonna do something,
Yeah.
I do it. I work hard to do that. So if I feel like, if I'm saying I want to be married, this is the person I want to be with, and this was like the one thing that I couldn't control in my life. So I was like, I'm in
We don't like when we can't control
I'm
things.
in
We don't
control
like
of it.
that.
I'm in control of
Yeah.
everything.
Oh,
And
man.
I can control
You can
how I
propose
want
to
my
yourself.
future.
You right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be a little off.
So honestly, I had
You
to
can propose to
pray.
him, though.
I had to.
I done seen that.
Don't
now.
do
That's
that.
another subject.
I'm just saying, like,
No.
you can take control.
Christian,
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
can take control.
I wasn't doing that. I don't want that kind of control. But honestly, I really had to pray about it. And I think like I was honestly praying like I want to be married. But then I had to really stop and be like, really pray for him. Like, God, if this is the man for me, I need you to guide this
Dang,
man.
that sounds
Get
like
him
a
to the
good
place of
fiance.
where he
Soon to
be
wants
wife.
to be
Yeah.
my husband and
Yes.
what he needs to do to get there.
Yeah.
And I think I kind of took myself out of the scenario and really just prayed for him
Yes.
to get it together because I felt like I was
That's the
ready.
offer play.
But I wanted
Missionary
him
Key.
to be
Yeah.
no, honestly, and I feel like
Good
that
stuff.
that's a big part. Like I
Yeah.
feel like we have
Yeah.
to pray for the man. We want him to be our husband. This is the man that's supposed to lead me. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
feel like God, give him guidance if that's what he needs. Help him through whatever he's struggling with. Because it's still, I feel like as men, y'all talk to us about a little bit, but y'all don't talk to us about everything.
They do not.
Some
They
stuff
hold a
y'all
lot of
go
things
through.
in.
Yeah, so I'm
Absolutely,
like, help
absolutely.
him, guide him, give him the strength that he needs to kind of like get through whatever he's going through. So I feel like that was major for me. But I also feel like Gary is just a good guy. And I feel like sometimes you may get back out there and you may not be able to find that.
Right,
The
so always
connection,
agree.
the
Wasn't gonna find
connection
another
that
me.
we have. And
And you've invested.
I've invested a lot of time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You've invested.
But I just want to say this to women because I just also believe like you got to still go with what you, because some men will waste your time. So you got to know the right kind of man that you're invested in. Some people will
true.
waste a lot of your time and y'all never get married.
Yeah.
But I never thought that about Gary. Even when people were like, what's taking so long? I
Nah,
never in
it
my
was
mind
coming,
thought that this man was not going to marry me. I
Yeah.
don't care like the time that it was. I know that that's what he wanted to do. I know that he just needed to get it together.
He's trying to get that money for that rock.
Look.
Show me that rock.
Look.
He's trying to make sure he came
I know I had
correct.
to come with it. That's all I know. I had to come with it.
Yeah,
I had to come with it.
Yeah,
He
so
did good.
people
He did
joke
good.
about like the Sierra prayer, but that's real, right?
Yeah.
Like the fact
Yeah.
that you even said, like, took a step back to say, this is what I want, and I want this right now, and to say, like, you know what, God, like, what more does Gary need? Like, watch over Gary. Like, you praying for Gary or seeing on a different level just to make sure he's ready for you when it's that time. Like, that prayer is real. You know,
It is real.
I believe in prayer. 100%.
And just being like a God-fearing man, like I feel like that was one thing with me and Gary where I told him, I was like, you know, we need to have God more in our relationship,
Absolutely.
right? So I feel like it's certain stuff that we would do at night before we go to bed. We pray together. And it's just like little things that we do to bring God into our relationship. And I feel like when we start to do that, it's like we can go through anything together and we good.
yeah.
You know what
yeah.
I mean? So I feel like
Absolutely.
that's a huge part of our relationship. And we're trying to just grow together more, and I feel like this marriage is just gonna seal the deal.
That's so smart. That's so. I told Charles, I'm like, before we even get married, we have to do counseling. Like, we can't get married until we go through like marriage counseling.
And that was the first time I went to counseling.
And
I
I
had
think
never
that's
been
very
before
important.
that.
I feel like that was like the foundation of marriage. So that kind of like spearheaded a lot of things that took place in our life. Even to this day, I think that kind of like laid the foundation for what we wanted in our marriage and just put it out there in the atmosphere. So I think that's good that you even starting with, what are we doing before bed? Are we praying together? Like what that routine looks like. So I think that is awesome.
And that counseling and therapy helps you to deal with other situations that happen in your life to make you a better person for your spouse or for your future husband and wife.
Absolutely.
You deal with those certain things. And in therapy, they call it shadows, right? So you still subconsciously, you got these things you're trying to, these trauma situations that happen throughout your life. You don't know it's playing out in a relationship.
And it's
So
affecting you,
it's affected. So like doing that for us, I feel like it helped me to deal with certain things to make me better. You know, for the relationship.
Super dope. Super
yeah.
dope. Super dope.
Yeah. Talk your ish.
Talk
All
your
ready?
ish. Let's get to
Oh,
it.
let's
do
let's
it.
get
So
to
that was
it.
great. Thank you all for that. Listen, y'all done gave some good gems. Like, for real.
We could have kept going on and on, but
We can talk all night about that. But okay, so for the Talk Your Ish session this week, we are going to talk about child support. And why are we talking about child support, right? We were debating about this the other day, and we were talking about it's just different celebrities. And when it comes to child support, like how much is too much? Like, who is it to decide, like, what is enough for child support?
Right.
And of course, we were talking about what was
So Babyface,
how much was it?
$37,000 a month for
Okay.
his ex.
Mustard?
DJ
DJ
Mustard,
Mustard?
$18,000 a month. for him.
$18,000.
And then Neo
Neo.
was $2 million overall.
with
whatever.
some like real estate, some.
Yeah.
But
you know, Kanye and Kim Kardashian, that was ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, that was
whatever
crazy.
Yeah, so
okay,
a
so
month.
my view on it was, and I probably sound like the wives and what they say is
of
like,
course, y'all stick together.
you have to maintain the lifestyle, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if we have 3 kids together, they go to private school, we have mortgage, they have activities. Does that child support cover all of that? From my understanding, it does, right? So it's like, how am I supposed to pay for all that? And let's not even talk about bodyguards if you're talking about the Kardashian. That's a whole different story.
Yeah.
So it's like, what does that look like? What's $18K?
So the term is child support. Like, let's be very clear, because sometimes we think it's like the child and the ex-wife support, right? It's really, and it turns into that, but it's child support. So you mentioned private schools and food and all that. Is that $37,000 a month? It might
we
be.
pay a lot of money
okay,
for 3 kids for a basic child
That's
support.
true.
So
It might be $15K. I'll just say half.
Okay.
Where the other 15 to 20 going?
don't forget about mortgage.
That's only
Don't forget
if,
about food. Don't forget about
That's-
they rich friends and parties and
Extracurricular
all
activities.
types
right,
of
but
stuff.
that's only
Oh my
if,
God.
right?
Cardinal?
Like that's a part of the situation. We don't know that the house could be paid for. How we know? If they rich,
Hello. And then also the other thing that I'm thinking about
Clothes,
is
shoes.
if you give too much money though as the guy, and then you get into another relationship. Let's just say, do you think it now? The person who you with, they're starting to feel a certain type of way because now you're taking away from their lifestyle. You know what I mean? Now it's like,
Can we dive into that a little bit
it's
more?
a flex by the ex-wife. Well, he's still giving me this amount.
oh, that's a super flex.
Okay, so let's take the celebrity out of it, right?
Okay.
So like a regular relationship right now, like we're
Right.
regular people.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you were to come into a relationship, and let's say Kiasha, if you were about to date Sin, and let's say he has an ex-wife and 3 kids, and he like, yeah, you know, I want to take you to Ruth Chris, but I only have Grand Lux money because I have to pay for child support and alimony right now. Like, but you really like this man. You knew from day one that could have been in one. Like, would you still take that chance?
I don't even know because I just feel like you already going into it, and you also have to think about like what happens when you do marry that person. Now your income comes in with their income. They could
That's
be taking
what I
out
was
more
saying,
money.
too.
Oh, it could.
Right?
That's
You know what I
another
mean?
way.
So I
Absolutely.
mean, you know, if you
Keep
say
it
it like
maybe
that,
paying for,
I'm like, I don't worked hard for, now I'm going into your bag. It's a little bit different. So I'm a little indifferent about it.
And it's also weird or interesting to me. Okay, what if it's the man like this? He's the one making all the money, right? He has a great career. He could be a multi-millionaire, and the wife is just been at home, not working any of that, right? He's not with her anymore. He's paying her $30,000 plus a month, $15,000 plus a month. Are we not expecting for her to get a job, to get a career, to do nothing?
So
even
you're
though we're
still
not with her?
absolutely.
Like, is that cool? Should she just not have to work at all?
No, I think she should
But-
work, but
Right,
not
but
used to
you
working.
made all this money off me.
Absolutely.
And what I do with my career.
That's
now
very
you
true.
winning off that for really nothing.
I
just
think
for being
that's
my wife.
twofold.
pick
because-
your people
Thank
better.
you.
Pick your girls better.
That's
But-
why you gotta have a go-getter. Start a business.
Even if it's-
Get a woman who
Hold
got
on.
her own
It's
money.
business.
Hold on.
It's a big. It's a
okay.
stake too.
Okay,
In
let's
terms of
say
it.
I have a bachelor's, I have a master's degree, right?
Yeah.
Let's say, I meet this man, he's rich, I quit my job,
Okay.
I stopped working. It's been 10 years, we've had 3 kids. Now we're divorced, and you want me to go back into the job field. I haven't used my degrees in forever. I don't have the experience anymore. So now I have to start over fresh.
Hey,
Yes.
I'm be honest. Like I'm not with you no more.
And
No, I'm just telling.
But that woman
That's
when
has
you was with me,
sacrificed.
it
how
was
she
good.
does.
Like,
That has
That's how-
sacrificed
wait,
And I
wait.
can't get that time
I didn't
back.
make you quit because I was good. Like
Oh
hey,
my
you can,
But at that time, you wanted her to do that to be able to
Maybe.
take care of your kids,
Maybe.
to take care of your household. And now you're
Absolutely.
not with her. You
And now
just
the
leave her out
tables
there
turn
high
and
and dry.
change.
Those
Just
kids are a
saying,
little
like-
older now. She ain't gotta be in the house as much, you know.
Okay, at the end of the day, women, if you're gonna marry, make sure you have your financial affairs in order. Before you
Yeah.
quit your job and quit your career for a man, I would say make sure it's
I
the right
agree.
decision
That's-
for you.
that's
But also,
I
I
would
want
never quit. Listen, I'm gonna always have some type of backup.
Some
Before-
type
always.
of, yeah.
Before y'all wrap it up, let's turn the tables a little bit. Now, what do y'all think about the guys who marry the women?
Mary
who
J.
are
Mary
Blige.
J.
Mary, we
That's
talking
how
about
they
Mary
do it.
J, right?
Wendy Williams, Britney Spears.
It's one
husband.
sided
What
because
about
they,
those
they have an
situations?
issue with that because
Hey,
they
'cause
always
you guys
side
have
the
it.
women.
I mean, I ain't
Yeah,
gonna lie.
yeah, yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
Naturally, as a man, though, you should want to work. Like, I feel like just kind of like living off of your wife. Like, I just feel like you don't want to work.
I mean, she was a select. She was
I'm
a
not gonna
rich
lie.
Yes,
When
right?
Mary husband
He
took
was
all
the
that
manager.
money,
Yeah,
he gets
yeah.
alimony.
He
I was
actually
so
worked.
mad.
He was the manager. He
I
worked.
was
So
so mad.
he worked. He was the
How you gonna do
manager.
Auntie Mary like that though? Like she
That's
is like
crazy.
the goat, and he got like something crazy.
So, you know what this argument or this topic tells me? Y'all can't be
Unbiased.
You can't
I
be
know.
unbiased. with
I
this
know
at
I'm
all.
biased. I know I'm
Absolutely.
biased.
I'm probably biased too, but I just feel like naturally
Probably.
as men,
How you gonna be in a
you
how you gonna be a
wanna
married
provider.
man and like, oh, you know, I bought this house because I got alimony from my wife. That just sounds. Look, you're biased.
Hey, she worked my wife for 20 mil. That's how it be
But
like
but
that.
also, do you think that like if your wife is worth 20 mil, you have so many opportunities to get out there and do what you want to do
That's true.
because
Y'all
you
do
are a
too.
man.
Yeah,
So
y'all
you
do
should
too.
find what
Usually the
something
women
that you
are
wanna
taking care of
do.
the kids. Let's not forget that. I think you're trying to negate that they're actually home with the kids. For the most part.
That's important.
Not
And
your
the
home
husband-
just chilling.
Exactly.
That's important. But it might be a nanny. So come on, man. Like, let's be real. These are multimillionaires. It's an overnight nanny. You know, it's somebody there every weekend. It don't just be the mother there the whole time.
I mean, some of the
Like,
wives
let's
said they
be
never
real.
had nannies.
And
Like,
I
they clean the house, they take care of the kids. That's just what I heard.
Who said that?
That's what Kobe's wife said. She did years ago. She said she didn't have a nanny. She do
Vanessa
everything.
Bryant, let's get on the show. Vanessa, let us know if that's the truth or not. We'll
Okay.
know for sure.
So let's we're gonna get to the next segment, right?
Word story.
Word story. So we're gonna go ahead and
Yep.
spin the wheel.
Okay.
What we can
Let's
do
get it.
is we'll spin it and we'll see what the word is. Decide who goes first after we spin the word. It's
Okay.
up to you.
You know how it works. How it works. Whatever word they choose, they're gonna give us a story
Based off
and they
of what
like
the word
based off
is.
the word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
All
cool.
right.
So we will spin
I'm a little
it.
long-winded, so I'm gonna let Key go first.
All right. Cool.
Let's see what the word is.
Let's see what the
good
word
story.
is. I might
Right,
say
right,
no
right.
comment. Who knows?
No comment.
Okay. Let's see. Let's get to spin. Hold on. It ain't making.
Oh, that's good. Ooh, teenager.
Teenager.
Ooh, child.
It's a good teenage
That's a
story.
really
You
good.
wanna
That's
go
so
No,
good.
you going first. Go ahead. Pull a teenager.
That's good.
Okay.
I heard your stories about your teenage days.
Oh,
I don't
You had
know.
some
I
parties.
done had some.
That's
I have had some times as a teenager. I want to just start off by saying, you know, I'm an only child, so like I feel like I was a little privileged, I guess you could say, as far
Thank
as
you
like
for
a
the
car and you know, I was pretty good. But yes, as a teenager, I kind of was. When I look back, I was kind of bad. Like the stuff we tell, like our younger people, like you shouldn't do that. I probably was doing that. But I do remember I used to have a lot of parties at my house when my dad
You
would go
definitely
out
had
of
parties.
town.
We used to. Yeah.
We will always like he would be gone. I have my people come over. We got music, boys, everybody over, and we kicking it. So
You had
I
some
mean,
good parties
I
at
had
your
some
house.
good parties, and I feel like in the
Alright.
suburbs, the parties was like they were a little bit more safe too. I guess
Right,
like
right.
it was. You
Nobody
didn't have
come to
worry
knock on
about-
the door.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
they was.
Now, when you talking about these parties, how old were you at this time?
I don't.
Right.
You started talking about high school.
I had
talking
some in
about
high
12.
school. No,
I'm talking about college.
no. When you say college, because I still was technically
I'm
a
talking about college.
teenager.
You had a lot of
Yeah,
parties
it was
in
like
college.
18
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, okay,
So
cool.
yeah, we would come home from school and have parties with some
He
boys.
definitely had some good
It was
parties.
good times
Okay.
though.
Okay.
Do you have a
Cool.
specific story? I got one. If you ain't got it.
What?
The one time you had the party.
Which one?
You had the party.
Go ahead, that is a
Yeah.
story. I want to
come
tell.
on. Keep going. They broke my house.
Oh my
Well,
God.
hey, you
Yes.
might as well tell it now.
Tell it.
Right.
No, it was just, you know, it was just a story. You had a party, we had a good time, and then next, you know, your daddy found out, was like, did you have some people over here? You like, yeah, well, actually, I had some friends over from college, like, and we kicked it. Like, it was a real good party.
What'd you say?
You remember that?
Some
No.
things end up missing.
We just had, like, you know, a few days later, you know, it was a good party. And
What
then,
happened? Dad?
I mean,
Say
yeah,
it.
it's out there now.
like, somebody broke in your house. You don't remember that? And they, like, stole some stuff, and your dad was like, who broke in our house? How did this happen? Yes.
I don't remember that.
You got so much.
We might-
look,
we might
yo,
gotta-
we
It
got
probably
teenage years
did.
so well. She don't even
Look,
know.
Yes.
No,
Your dad was in
no,
Vegas. He
no,
was in Vegas.
No,
Oh,
I
yeah, we
don't.
gonna
I
ask
don't
you
remember
some
that
more
time,
about
but I do remember one time, like when I was in high school. I remember it was this girl. That I used to go over her house a lot or whatever, and I ended up leaving my key at her house, right? So we was gone or whatever. Me and my dad was gone. And this girl would be in communication with me, so she would kind of like know. But while we were gone, she came back used my key and came back into my house. She stole my homecoming dress and she stole my
dress?
shoes and my shoes.
A dress?
And so when I
That's
came
crazy.
back, I'm like, at first I was really thinking about the shoes. I'm like, I know I have these shoes. I couldn't find these shoes nowhere. So what she did was, it had the receipt and everything. She took the stuff back
I
and
can't
got the
believe
stuff.
that.
And yes, it was
Oh,
crazy.
nah,
And
that's
this the only
crazy.
reason
High
why
school, was
in
you?
high school, and the reason why we
Doing
knew
what?
that
What's her
my
name?
dad,
What?
my
You
dad,
calling her
my-
out?
Name drop.
David. Cause
My baby ain't
she,
no snitch,
she out of
man.
control.
Okay.
We gonna call her.
But anyways, she went and took the stuff back or whatever, and my dad was like, "You sure nobody was in this house? Like nobody had been in this house or whatever?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Did you leave your key anywhere?" And as soon as he said that, I remember I left my key at her house because my dad said it looked like somebody was over here washing
What girl
clothes
does
and
that?
everything. She was in our basement washing
she ain't
clothes.
washing
You're
clothes.
lying.
Swear. I cannot
What?
make this up. I'm
She
gonna
ain't
call my
washing
daddy
clothes.
right
I've
now.
never heard.
She
Crazy.
spilled because I guess something had spilled. My dad was like, somebody, and my dad kind of like Gary, he got OCD. So he like, I know this like detergent and stuff wasn't down here spilled over. And the whole time she had my key. So that tied her to you done been down here washing clothes, using
Yeah,
our laundry.
that's crazy.
You done stole my
That's
shoes.
wild.
and you done stole my dress. It was all kind of. And back then we didn't have. Yeah, of course she lied. Of course she lied and said she did. But you know, and then we didn't have cameras or nothing back then, so we didn't have any proof to say. But we ended up getting the key back, and then my dad had to change all the locks in our house. But
it's crazy. Honestly, these days, like kids can't get away with nothing. Like you got Ring cameras.
Cameras in the house. Get caught, and she wasn't in jail.
Yeah, like you ain't getting away with nothing. These kids ain't getting away with nothing. Like you see everything. So that's a great story.
Yeah. I don't remember that one about the house though.
Listen,
I'm gonna ask my daddy.
Ask your father. Let me know.
Just let him watch this.
I remember. I'm gonna send you pictures from the party.
That's why you don't have people in your house. It was kids.
You literally had a party, and a few days later, you called me. He was like, "God, why somebody breaking our house?" My daddy called me. I'm like, "Oh my God!" And we had a lot of people there. Because I invited like some of my high school friends. It was a lot.
Because you was wild in high school too, right?
I know you remember that. We had a lot of people there. I was what?
You was wild in high school.
I was never wild.
In
my life.
I brought my peoples. I brought my peoples.
It was there too.
I was never at the wild.
I heard about you had some parties too back in then.
Stop.
All right. Let's see what we got next.
Tell your teenager.
He's gonna do his own.
He got another word. Let's see what he got.
Words.
What's the odds, bro?
House party.
How's it gonna be house party?
Man, this is
that's so crazy.
You got one for house party?
I'm gonna keep it 100, man. So my grandma was in the house 24/7, so it wasn't no house party going down at my house. Physically myself.
Everybody had a friend.
But everybody had
a friend who parents let them do
everybody
whatever they
had
wanted.
somebody who had a friend. And I want to shout out my boy, rest in peace to my man James Morgan. But he was like the funny, just comedian character dude. And for this one day, and I went to school of the performing arts in high school, so our school was real diverse. You had kids from all walks of life, everybody. But of course, you know, the black kids was the cool kids, you know. So with James Morgan, mom leaving, it was literally, our school was a movie, you know what I mean? So he's like, yo, James throwing a house party at his crib. And when I'm telling you, like, a real deal, official, overnight house party that was
like how you do the movies and
exactly
the shows.
Exactly that.
Wow.
Everything from liquor to sleepovers to people doing things in the closet they may not post to be.
Sleepovers.
Y'all know.
It be like
that. Sleepovers.
That's from New York.
New
York is different.
His
boys
mom
and girls.
Oh, his mom had left. That's what I mean. His mom left. He had the super dope sleepover. His mom gone for the weekend. He invited the whole school there, and we lived in his lit for the whole weekend. So I always remember that one. Super dope house.
Y'all was definitely having sex.
Absolutely.
I'm cracking up.
Key, I know you from Joliet, but when I say things going on in the closet, that's what I was referring to.
Right. So. Break it down.
What you was doing? Clearly, New York is different from Joliet. No, you were living in Aurora at the time. Clearly, New York is different from that. So.
Oh yeah, we lit.
I mean, high school though. It ain't too much.
It's so funny because I feel like I went to high school like in the suburbs, and Charles went to high school in the city. So like when we watch movies and they in the hallways kissing, he like, we were never doing that. They act like that's okay. I'm like.
No, not the kiss in the hallways. I'm saying I feel like these movies and TV shows, they make high school seem like college. Like it'd be like all this extra stuff going on, all the drama, all these crazy parties. It just be like
that's how I feel like.
That's what I said.
Like the drugs and all that. It wasn't like
not
that.
The drugs,
not the drugs. Like that though.
But we had
in
houses.
The suburbs, they have big
I think it was
houses.
different then.
And people were.
See, in the city, we ain't had no big houses.
I mean, you live across street from school. We know you
we had a luxury. All that.
No, I went to school with white kids. So I feel like they would have big parties.
That's why I can relate. So when I see it, I be like,
parties.
So
they would be drinking all of that.
I'm gonna be honest, brother. I'm just like you. Like I said, I come from the hood, but I was, privileged enough to go to School of the Arts, which was a school you had to interview for. You had to get a recommendation to get into this school. But my school was one of them schools. But the thing is my school was like a private school that was in the hood. And then you got this one kid who from the hood who go there. So my friends took advantage of that. Like we had essentially my kids, they'll be like, oh my gosh, it's security. And I already know, I come outside, it's 50 dudes across the street. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yo, sin. And it's like, oh my gosh.
That's so funny.
Wow.
But now we did go through, my school's one of them schools, like literally as soon as you pull up, kids singing outside, you got kids tap dancing, you got kids.
So like the movie?
Yeah. So like.
If you went to School of Arts, you're an actor.
So basically,
you in the Lion King, Tay Diggs.
So basically, you went to school with Tupac.
That's the school Tupac went to, School of the Arts.
I remember
That's
that.
I
I remember that.
Jada Pinkett.
Yeah, so when you're talking about this school, it's literally like you walking in there, and that's exactly what.
Okay, so I thought that was like a myth. I didn't know that was a
real
real thing.
plays, real school. So for
That's
us,
crazy.
like you take your core classes, but inside of our school, we got dance studios, we got photography studios,
Yeah.
we
Wow,
got
that's so dope.
real do acting.
We need to bring
classes.
that
The
into
people
Wait,
do-
so
other
Sin, what was
cities.
yours?
You should.
I went to school for visual arts.
Okay,
So photography, and I know how to draw, like free. Like I went to
Yeah.
school for drawing and painting. Like
But
drawing,
you know how to
painting,
rap
and
too, right?
photography. Oh yeah, you know.
weren't you on like one of those shows way back when?
Oh yeah, 106
What
in
was it
Park.
called?
That was my
Oh,
old
yeah,
younger
yeah,
days.
yeah.
You know,
Oh,
my younger days.
What was your rap name?
Sincere the Great.
Sincere the Great.
That's where Sin came from.
Freestyle Friday. Y'all probably seen them.
Show.
Oh, yeah.
How long did you go on
How many
Freestyle
weeks? How
Friday?
many
All
weeks?
7 weeks.
7 weeks.
So,
What it's called? Oh, you retire after a certain
Yeah, you
time.
go get into the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
You know, we used to live for Freestyle Friday.
Man.
Yeah,
It's crazy because Sin, I probably was watching and didn't even know it was you.
Of course you didn't know.
So many people, and it's
You
so
know.
crazy. People will walk up to me, even when I be in, and they be like, "I know you from somewhere." Even like, now I'm 38. Of course, this is when I was, 18, 19.
Yeah.
I watched
years
every
old.
Freestyle Friday. Every Friday. I think
But-
everybody did.
My run when I was on there, man, it was so dope. It's an experience I never forget. You got to think. So my 7 weeks I was on there. My first week, this was when Sierra, she was a backup dancer, and this when she dropped Goodies. So this was when Sierra was.
Oh, I love that
You know how they
era.
used to have the new
Yeah.
artists
Yeah.
the day
Yeah.
they do that on
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
She went from being a backup dancer to Goodies. My second week was when Lil Wayne dropped Carter 2. So that was that.
Wow, that's some
My
good
third,
times.
my third
Cartoon's
week
great.
was
Nostalgic,
when my
for
third
real.
week was when Holly Berry came out with Catwoman, so she was on there. Holly Berry told me I was cute. You couldn't tell me nothing else. I used to just walk up to girls. They'll be like, "No, I'm cool. I don't want to." Oh, it's cool. My Holly Berry told me I was cool, cute. I'm cool on
Yeah,
that.
you got that step.
Yeah, Will Smith, I Robot,
Dope,
yeah,
dope.
and
That was a good time.
6th week Jadakiss Y, 7th week was Wayne Wonder when he did
Wayne
that.
Wonder,
yeah.
And it was so dope.
Reggae
He
joint.
had a
Yeah,
show at
yeah.
Madison Square Garden that day when I got retired. He brought me on the show and let me open up for
Wow.
him. Yeah, that was
So y'all may not know, but like every time we get together, like Sin drops some bars. Like, and like he not just like a
Wait,
little
Key too.
good.
Key Minaj.
No.
Hey, look, I coined this new name.
Yeah.
I gave her this nickname, Key Minaj. We was in
Miami.
Miami some years ago for your birthday.
Key Minaj.
Right?
Yeah. When you proposed, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was yeah.
Like Kiasha can actually rap too. So it's like
Only when I'm real drunk.
maybe when they get married in November, we'll get like some type of freestyle going.
Yeah,
like I feel like
that'd
that'd be a vibe.
Yes,
Low
that
key,
would.
don't let it surprise you. Key can kind of, she can flow.
Get our little bars together.
Sincere can go, but like Key Minaj, like we always say, bring her out, Key, bring her out. We've been waiting.
Yes,
So yes,
She may
but
come out for the wedding.
all right,
Alright.
we'll see. Stay
11,
tuned on that.
11.
11. So yes, we want to thank you all for coming on.
Thank you guys.
amazing
for having us.
Like we really appreciate
so
you
many
all.
gems being dropped.
Absolutely. Like this has
Yeah.
been our family for a very long time. We are super happy for you all.
Proud.
Your marriage in
Thank you.
November is coming soon.
All the
Thank you.
congrats.
Yes. So like we wish y'all the best. We wish y'all the best in everything that you have coming.
Future
And-
endeavors.
Absolutely.
Future kids.
Everything.
Yeah.
All that.
Practicing that.
She's like that for the wedding.
Relax.
But yes, like it's been amazing. So let us know what you all think. We talked about a lot of topics today. We would love all of your feedback. Yes, so thank you all, and we really appreciate you all, and we love you very much.
Thank you for
Absolutely.
having us.
And make sure to follow us on Instagram, the Alexanders_Approach, Facebook, the Alexanders Approach, YouTube, Alexanders Approach, all podcast streaming platforms, Apple, Spotify, all that.
And they actually have a TikTok as well. So can y'all tell us y'all TikTok as well as y'all social media handles?
Our TikTok is Key and Gary, and then my TikTok is Key to Glam on Instagram, and
My IG, G1_TVMG.
Yes, so make sure y'all follow them as well. But
Yeah, check
they're
in.
doing great things, so make sure you continue to follow up with them.
All right. We
All right.
appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it.
Love. We'll holla.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you
Okay.
guys.
Woo!
Nice.
That was easy, right?
Yeah, super dope vibe.
Wow,
How long was it?
56 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, y'all
I knew
gotta
it
do
was
some
long.
editing.